Tonight, we step into the cold. Not the kind you feel on your skin, but the kind that seeps into your bones and whispers, "No one is coming." This is the story of Mara Kincaid and the night she found a window of grace. It happened fast, too fast. First, the job was gone, downsized without warning. Then, her partner of 5 years packed a bag, left the apartment keys on the counter, and never looked back. 2 weeks later, a notice on her door. 30 days, out. By the end of the month, Mara's life fit in the back of an aging compact SUV, the kind with just enough cargo space for her boxes and bags, but not enough comfort to feel like home. Her world had shrunk to 4 metal doors and a steering wheel.
I'll figure it out. It's just temporary. It has to be.
But nights have a way of turning temporary into forever, especially in January when every breath feels like broken glass. It was the kind of cold that bites, the kind that makes your hands ache even inside your pockets. She parked near the old industrial district, where empty warehouses kept their secrets, hoping the shadows would hide her. But the wind felt personal tonight. Through the blur of frost on her windshield, she saw it, a flicker. Light spilling from a cracked stained glass window, gold and red against the black night.
Who even leaves a church open at night?
Inside, the air was warmer, not warm, but warm enough to remind her how cold she'd been. The place smelled of wax and something older, the kind of scent that lingers even when faith has left. At the altar, a man in a worn black coat lit candles, each flame trembling like it was afraid to be seen. His hair was white, his hands shaking just enough to notice. Beside him, 4 others sat at a long table. A girl no older than 17 with hair like tangled copper, a man with eyes that had seen too much war, a woman who didn't speak but painted on scraps of wood, and another with a nurse's steady hands who still moved like she was on shift. They looked up, not surprised, not suspicious. The man gestured to the table.
"Sit. Eat before it gets cold."
She almost laughed. She had nothing to give them, not a coin, not a story worth telling. But they didn't ask. They passed her a chipped bowl of soup. Steam curled into the air like a quiet blessing. That night, she slept on a pew, wrapped in a donated blanket. And for the first time in weeks, she dreamt without waking in panic. Over the next few days, she stayed. She swept floors, patched cracks in the wall, found blankets in a back closet. No one spoke about where they'd come from. It wasn't the kind of place that demanded confessions. Then, one night, while stacking candles near the altar, Mara noticed a stained glass panel she'd never looked at closely. 2 cloaked figures in snow, one holding the other up. Behind them, the very church she now stood in.
It's us!
The next morning, the knock came. A man in a city-issued coat, clipboard in hand. The building was condemned, 30 days until demolition. Panic spread through the group like cold water down the spine.
Guess I'll just find another squat.
I'll sleep under the bridge again. Not the first time.
Mara felt it, the fear she knew too well. That hollow certainty that when the walls come down, you fall with them. But this time, she didn't stay silent.
We're not letting this place die quietly.
She called in favors from old contacts, made posters, started an online fundraiser. And for the first time in years, she used her skills for something that mattered. The night of the fundraiser, the church glowed, candles in every window, art hung from the walls, music in the air. People came, strangers, neighbors, curious souls who'd passed this building 100 times without ever looking in. They didn't raise enough to save it. But something else happened. One by one, the guests began offering things: a room over a garage, a job in a cafe, a spare bed in a spare room. By the end of the week, everyone in the choir had somewhere to go. When a donor handed Mara keys to a tiny apartment, she froze. The part of her that had survived in the SUV wanted to say no, to keep moving, to stay untethered. But then she thought of the window, the two cloaked figures, one holding the other up. She took the keys. The Five of Pentacles speaks of hardship, loss, poverty, the ache of being shut out. But it also whispers of fellowship in adversity, of the grace that comes not from rescue, but from shared survival. Mara thought she was walking into a shelter. What she found was a mirror, one that showed her a truth we often forget, that sometimes when you have nothing left to give, you still have yourself, and that might be enough for someone else to lean on. So I ask you, when the world turns its back, do you survive by standing alone or by letting yourself lean?